We just picked out the colors and we're going to place them within this file. So we go to File, Place, and select the last screenshot and click on Place. I'm going to zoom out by using Command minus and use the selection tool. Grab one anchor point and drag it in while holding Shift and place this one above. And we're going to zoom in. We are going to define different parts of the city. In this case, I'm going to adjust the map a bit because this part is actually mostly completely unuseful because this is like the industrial part, so there aren't any interesting landmarks to be seen. I'm going to make it a bit smaller. I'm going to use pen tool, shortcut P, and delete this anchor point, this one as well. And I'm going to use the direct selection tool, shortcut A, and I'm going to drag it in a bit. Looks a bit more interesting like that. The same over here. I'm going to delete this point. Use the selection tool and select the shape again. And I'm going to add another dock because it will look nicer. And as you can see, I've selected this part. While holding Shift, I'm going to select the big object. And I go to, let me see, Pathfinder, Shape Mode, and Unite. So everything functions now as one shape. You see that the road has disappeared, but it's actually located underneath the map. I'm going to select the selection tool by using shortcut V and using Command, Shift, and this bracket, and I just send it backwards. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to draw a rectangle and I make sure that it's in the same layer. A long rectangle, and I'm going to give it this color. I'm going to use shortcut I for the eyedropper tool, and I'm going to click on this blue, and everything turns blue. Again, as you can see, this square is located on top of what we've just drawn, and we're going to select the select tool, press V and Command, Shift, and this bracket again to send backwards. As you can see, we've created the ocean and we've got the city over here. The only thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this part straight. Okay, but I'm going to delete this one first so that we've got a nice horizontal line. By using Shift, you make sure that the line pulls straight, and we're going to leave it at that. And I'm only going to adjust the road a bit to have a bit more space for the different parts that we're going to add. And the lines are going to be a bit straighter. Take out the curves and try to create a bit more space. Well, let's see how that will turn out later on. What I'm going to do now is to create a bit more depth. Select the selection tool again and select the big gray map. Use Command C to copy, Command V to paste, and we're going to make that a bit darker than the other one is. I'm going to place that like a bit lower and a bit to the side. And again, we're going to use Command, Shift, and the bracket. And now only Command and the bracket to the other side. And we have placed it underneath, first underneath the water, and afterwards we place it above the water. Another way of doing this is, for example, by using a right click, we are going to add extra anchor points. We do that by using the pen tool here in the left sidebar, or press P and click. And we're going to drag this point up until that point. So it seems as if it goes exactly from that part to the other part. Over here, something strange has happened. I'm going to drag this one in and doing the same with that. Maybe it might be better if I drag that one in as well. Here on this side, everything seems to be okay almost. Just a couple more. And we're almost there. And now we've created a bit of shadow and depth. And now it's time to make different regions. I know. No, I was afraid that I placed this layer actually accidentally in the first layer, but fortunately it's in the second layer. And I'm going to create the garden by using the pen tool again. And we are going to create the garden by only giving it a fill color. So in this case, the fill color turned blue because we just made the ocean, but you can go up again, and I'm going to go for the green, and it's going to be this green. The eyedropper tool, shortcut I. That's it. And we're going to send this one underneath the road, but in this case it might be easier if we place the road above everything. So Command, Shift, and the bracket again. And we make sure that this is aligned perfectly. So now we're going to make different regions, different districts. On this side I'm going to create a beach. I'm going to do that in the same way as the park with the pen tool. So beach might go from that place to here more or less. And select the color. And that one I'm going to send backward by Command and bracket. So the beach is going to go over there. And you just have to see, you have to fill and see where everything can go. In the end, you're going to change this again because you might not find the right place for the building, or you have to change the gardens a bit. The perspective is not exactly as it is in the map, but it doesn't really matter as long as you try and fill up the empty spaces on the map so that each landmark has its own marked space. And here you can see the sped up process, giving each area its own color and making it more dynamic and not such a flat surface.